Nikola Jokic. This season, he's averaging 29 points, 13.7 rebounds, 11.7 assists. We have a graphic. Our TV's on the fritz here, so I'm not sure if we're seeing it or not. But the last 5 games, Nikola Jokic has been crazy. He's been averaging 37 points. He had a 37.30. 5 games in a row where it's like 30, 15, 15, basically.
Oh, yeah, just insane numbers,
it's
MVP-type numbers.
Watching the way he's been playing the last year.
So you're going to pick up back with the, healthy, yeah.
So the Grizzlies are now getting people healthy finally. We've seen Desmond Bane come back. Marcus Smart came back, although he's out tonight. I just got a tweet a second ago with an illness. Marcus Smart's back in the rotation. How does Taylor Jenkins start to adjust lineups now that it's a good problem to have, now that you have starting to get a fuller complement of players?
And he clarified it as difficult days ahead, right? You welcome these guys when they get back healthy, but he has some difficult decisions to make. And it's really depending on the opponent, depending on minutes restrictions. Desmond Bane was a guy that was limited in terms of the minutes that he played. He's not going to be coming off the bench. Let me just go ahead and clear this up right now. Desmond Bane is a starter for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's not a 6th man. He's a starter. They're just trying to navigate his minutes and his restrictions to make sure he plays at the most efficient time. So he's going to get back into the starting lineup pretty soon. But you still have to figure out Marcus Smart versus Vince Williams Jr. And how does that factor into Scottie Pippen getting his minutes at point guard? And when Ja comes back, where does Scottie go? If you want to get to some of those other lineups. And we've seen Zach Edey. Zach Edey was starting the first few games of his career. Now he's coming off the bench. And that's kind of, a point of contention right there among some Grizzlies fans. I know they wonder, Brandon Clark v. Zach Edey, that's going to be a debate going on from there.
Well, and Coach Jenkins talked about this pregame tonight where he was like, Zach needs to be ready. He might start some games. He might come off the bench. I think it's going to be situational as much as anything. And I thought we saw Zach Edey, especially against the Warriors, come off the bench and become a game changer for the Grizzlies and start to guard the rim, start to give you that interior presence and do things that I don't know if they were expecting to be able to do so quickly. So to your point, yes, we're going to see, I think, different games, different lineups, different things, different rotations. But Desmond Bane's the starting guard. I don't think there's much question about that.
No question.
We also talked about Jaren Jackson earlier. Jaren's been awesome the last few weeks. He's averaging 30 a game the last 4 games. 5 straight games with 20 points, 5 rebounds each. And tonight he gets to go against a Denver team without Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon out for this team. Jaren, I think, maybe more than anybody, as much as we saw other players benefit last year from extended playing time and the guys who were healthy, I think you can really draw a straight line between Jaren's performance this year and the reps he got last year.
Yes. And then you go a year before that, too, when he was the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. So he's bridging that. And I had a chance to talk to him about that in L.A. During this road trip, about how he's combining the opportunities he had opportunistically with the offense last season with the defensive acumen, having another big body alongside him so he can be the Defensive Player of the Year, too. And Jaren has said it's coming together right now. And he's just figuring out how good he can be. He still knows that he can get to another level. But we're definitely seeing all-star, potentially all-NBA type Jaren Jackson Jr. so far.
Yeah, he's been amazing. Let's take a quick look at the injuries for tonight. We know Marcus Smart, he was listed as doubtful. He's now out. G.G. Jackson's still out. John Morant's still out. Cam Spencer's still out. And for the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon out. And
Jokic.
Jokic.
Well,
there's someone else, but I think. Anyway, that's tonight's lineups. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's time for the Jessica Benson moment. She's not here, so we got to fill in for Jessica.
Next man up.
We'll be right back in a second. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We didn't talk about owling, and you're telling me you didn't know owling?
What the hell is an owling? Owling is worse than Tebowing.
What is an
How
owling?
far can Kyra zoom out on this camera?
She can zoom all the way out.
Can
Are
she
you gonna
zoom
hit us with
out?
it? What are you doing?
I'm owling.
Okay. Wait, why were we doing this? What is that?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
D'Anthony Melton took my boys, my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker, courtside here at FedEx Forum. Grizzlies getting ready to take on the Denver Nuggets. And I'm joined by my odds couple partner, not Jessica Benson, Bob Fisher.
Yay! How you doing, man?
I'm good. I know you're getting ready for 4:30 tonight.
Yeah, 4:30.
You go live on FanDuel Sports Network for Grizzlies Live.
That's right.
Tonight's, we talked about earlier, tonight's the Sounds uniform night.
Thus,
just why
by
you're
the way,
dressed like
that's
the music
why.
man.
That's right.
We're going to perform 76 trombones in the big parade in a little bit. So normally Jessica comes on right now. Jessica's out with laryngitis, by the way. Feel better, Jessica. Normally Jessica comes in right now and she gives me her main character. So the one person or thing she thinks is going to be the key to the game tonight. For you tonight, what do you think is the main thing for the Grizzlies?
I think the main character tonight for the Grizzlies is going to be Santi Aldama.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the reason being, on Grizzlies Live pregame show, we do a 3-leg parlay every night, and I got Santi getting 10-plus points tonight because Santi had, I think, 4 or 6 in the game against the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. Every game that Santi has had single digits this year, he's come back to average 17 points a game.
Like
so he's had great bounce backs all season long. So I'm going to go with a big Santi bounce back. I'll go with 18 points for Santi
I like
tonight.
that. He's kind of been up and down this year because he was the leading scorer on opening night. Then he had, I think, 2 or 0 the next game. It's kind of been up and down.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the lineup. I assume Desmond Bain goes back into the starting lineup.
I would
tonight.
think so too.
So who comes out, Santi, or does Jalen Wells come out of the starting lineup?
I don't know, because Santi's played a lot of 3 this year.
Yeah.
And the way Jaren's been playing, like you would assume it's Jaren and I guess Brandon Clark, although Zach Edey played great at that Golden State game.
He's been great off the bench.
And Taylor Jenkins talked tonight about, somebody asked him about Zach Edey, and he was like, he might start some.
Yeah.
Kind of just threw it out there. So you're like, all right, well, maybe that changes too. So I don't know, but it's a good question, Jalen Wells or Santi. I don't know. It's a good question. I think maybe Santi would start just because he's got more experience, but I don't know.
And Santi's got the experience of coming off the bench, though, too.
That's
and
true.
has been able to produce in either role and has produced well off the bench this year.
Especially against another team's second unit.
Yes.
You would think Santi might have a benefit there.
Yeah.
You were on the road trip with the team the last week and a half or whatever it was out west.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were out there for a long time. Although you were on the beach in California. I saw the pictures. Wasn't that bad. Those 2 losses, you lose the last 2 games of the road trip, but it was by a combined 10 points. Is there anything positive you think the team takes away from that experience?
I think the offense still looks good.
Yeah.
I think the last 2 games, you look at the 3-point defense, and you had close to 20 with the Warriors, over 20 with the Lakers.
Yeah.
So that's just way too many. So that's got to be a lot better because I think there was a lot of good in the Golden State game. There were a lot of great shots that just weren't going in the first half. They were just missing shots, but they hung around the game, hung around enough at least to make it close to the end result, which is important because with the NBA Cup, differential it matters. So to come back and cut that to 5 points could matter going forward. So, but I think there were a lot of good things offensively. The way the ball moved, it didn't go in the hoop as much as you'd like against Golden State, but it moved really well against the Lakers, and you had yourself in position to win both games. You know, and if you had a closer,
couldn't call 12. Yeah, it was tough. Hey, last thing before we let you get out of here, Jessica's not here tonight.
Right.
I got to do the walk-off if we win.
Oh.
It's fallen into my lap. Can I get some advice from Mr. Walk-Off here?
Pick a short guy.
Oh, that's important?
That's always
I'm thinking
important.
more like the questions. Like what?
Oh, you mean questions-wise. Simple and quick. Simple and quick.
Simple and quick.
Because you'll lose their attention if you go on with the long question.
What's up, CJ Hurt?
What's going on, y'all? We got some stuff to talk about on Monday, don't it?
Yeah, go Dogs.
Monday, 2 o'clock?
Monday, 2 o'clock. Odds Couple live on Grind City Media.
We'll be on the Odds Couple. All right, so simple, quick, just keep it going.
Get in, get out.
All right, gotcha. All right.
And use her stool.
I want to. And I hope it's like Scottie Pippen and I'll tower over him.
That's right. That's what you hope for.
All right. He's Rob Fisher. He's going to be on FanDuel Sports Network in just a minute on Grizzlies Live. We're going to now go check out this video. Tonight's HBCU night.
Yep.
Michael Wallace sat down with T. Morant, an HBCU graduate, to discuss their shared HBCU experience and what it meant to the two of them. Go check out this video right now. We'll be back in just a minute after this video.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Wallace, Grind City Media Senior Editor and also Grizzlies analyst, also a proud alum of Grambling State University. And I'm here with T. Morant, father of John Morant, but also a Claflin University alum as well. T, you and I both know the importance of HBCUs as we use this time to commemorate awareness and everything surrounding our HBCU culture. Going to Claflin University, what was the decision like for you when you had a chance to come out and make that decision to attend a HBCU?
Actually, it was more of me trying to go where I got a full scholarship because my mom, had my brother and my sister, and they were older than me, so I was like trying to make it light on her pockets. And then when I got on the campus, I saw like the different culture, and it's almost like a family reunion. So I was excited about attending it.
You talked about the culture and the feeling of what the campus experience was like. What are some of the things, your biggest memories of just being around that culture and how much it felt like home?
Being on the yard, I think it was like nobody really staying in their dorms. Like the yard was a party in itself, and like I felt like going to HBCU was important to me and special because it was almost like my auntie and uncle was the one that was pretty much teaching me, because I feel like they know the culture, they know background. Most of them came from the same type background, so it's relatability, So it was like a family environment type joint.
Absolutely. And we're going to get to the jersey because you bought the jersey right there. You balled out there. You weren't just a student there. You were a student athlete, and you contributed back onto the campus and did a lot of remarkable things. Also met your wife there.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is a family affair when it comes to HBCUs. But we've seen the impact of historically black colleges and universities, not just in the classroom, but also in different fields, politics, education, science. There's leaders all across the world who came from HBCUs. Why is it such a powerful place to be for students that look like us?
Not to knock on any, big time university, but I think HBCUs are big time because it's so much things that go on HBCU's campus that shapes these people who are in high places.
Absolutely, the connection there, the feeling of home. We get a chance to go there and grow there, right? We make mistakes, but we learn from those mistakes, and we have faculty and administrators and life people that impact our lives.
Pop you like auntie. You ain't supposed to be doing that. Yeah, that type. Yeah.
Get on the class, get on over here, right? They're not just teachers in the classroom. You know what I mean? They're life skill developers when it comes to that.
Right.
Now, as I said before, this is a family atmosphere, family environment for you. Talk a little bit about your career playing there.
Okay.
Obviously, I know you were, two-time tournament, led the team to the tournament twice there, man, in Division II.
Player of the year.
Player of the year. Yeah, go ahead. Pop that collar, man.
Yeah, two-time captain. I pretty much led us to the national titles, but the most important thing I can say that I did at Claflin was mentor the ones who was coming behind me. So like homecomings, you know, I'm going back, they still in class, they trying to cut class, you know, because they know I'm on the yard. No, y'all better go back and get this education too now.
How are some of those values from HBCU and the experience that you had there? How are you instilling that, and how did you instill that in both Ja and Tanaya, who's at an HBCU at Mississippi Valley State?
My baby girl, she's at Valley State. But the thing is, like now, me and Jamie done set up a charity, you know, a scholarship fund at our college at Claflin, and then Ja, of course, is donating to that to the cause, and I think it's big time, because with your Dukes and North Carolinas and all, especially athletic departments, they got everything right there. But with the HBCUs, they need assistance, and I think I think Chris Paul is doing a great job, and other players, as far as the give back, you know, to make sure it's almost like even in the playing field, you know, as far as you're giving back to, you know, your culture.
Yes, it's definitely, we're saying that across the board. The Memphis Grizzlies are one of the preeminent NBA franchises in terms of commemorating HBCU Night. We have our HBCU Night annually this year, presented by Pinnacle. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, we went to Tennessee State University during the Grizzlies training camp there to sort of get the love and share the love with Tennessee State as well. It's been important, and you guys aren't just talking it, you're doing it. Ja, you and Nike have partnered to send gear and also have that brand as part of some HBCUs across the country.
Right.
Mississippi Valley State is one.
Yes.
But why is that decision important to continue to share that with HBCUs?
Because I mean, like I said, it's more of the give back. Like if you got the big time colleges that got it, you know, it's already there, you know, and that's of course a draw when the kids be like, yo, I got all this apparel over here for free, and then HBCU struggling to you know, do that. But at the same time, they will never get the experience of, say, the Battle of the Band. You ain't got no Battle of the Band at Dukes. You know, the cheerleaders competing at HBCU.
Yeah,
they do a cheer. You look down there like, that's
your
turn. All that, man. Yeah. So yeah, like even the sorority and fraternity, they coming out joint. Yeah. That's always live. It's almost like a concert. So
yes.
You know, it's so many different experiences that comes with a HBCU that I don't feel like at the big time college.
Some of the other universities. Yep. And before we get you out of here, I wanted to ask you, what would your message be to students who are considering HBCUs and why it's important? You know, obviously, all schools are great schools.
Right.
You know, they're all educational opportunities. But what makes, one more time, HBCU experiences so unique?
I think it's so unique because you have so many different avenues that, you know, you can explore. I mean, like and it's the connectiveness. When I went to Claflin, my African-American studies teacher, actually African-American.
Okay.
So, you know, you got people who look like you, teaching you, you know, educating you, but holding your hand and taking you along the way to real adulthood, you know, and the experiences are mind-blowing. Like, I'm going back to my homecoming the 23rd of November. Jotto's got a game, but I'm going back to homecoming.
That's where you're going to be.
Yeah,
right?
that's
where
I'm going to be.
Find you.
Yeah.
Well, T, thank you so much, man. And I appreciate you being here for this conversation, man.
No
I'm
doubt.
loving the jersey. So you're 21. You got 12. 12 is the derivative of 21.
You flip it.
Flip it around. Same thing, man. Well, I tell you what, man, that's been a pleasure to sit there and talk with you about your journey. And again, you know, commemorating all that we do for HBCUs and on HBCU Night.
Appreciate you.
So keep it locked on all of our coverage across HBCU Night and all of our other initiatives. The Grizzlies are doing one of the most remarkable jobs of all NBA teams, and the Grizzlies Community Engagement and Foundation is leading the charge for our HBCU awareness and all of our HBCU coverage.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here live courtside at FedEx Forum. We're about 5 minutes before we kick it up to the guys for Grizzlies Live on FanDuel Sports Network. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. You just saw Mike sit down with T. Morant and talk about what HBCUs have meant to him.
Yeah.
What have they meant to you, Mike? You went to Grambling State University. We heard T talk about it. What about for you?
That's a great question, Lang. I appreciate you giving me that platform to answer that, man. It means everything to me because my path wasn't easy to get into this industry. I had to go a lot of different places to get to this point. And to me, it's all about opening doors back up, man. Grind City Media and the Memphis Grizzlies have given me a platform and a leadership level where, I can contribute to having and creating HBCU Night here with our community engagement and making sure these stories are told and making sure our organization at least looks at applications and applicants from potential hirees who are from HBCUs. And, if I can open the door just a little bit, that's enough, man. And, that door can be wide open. And I'm just glad and thankful that I learned those things in part at Grambling State University.
That's awesome. All right, real quick, we're going to go around the NBA before we get out of here. We've seen teams now starting to kind of get into the flow of the season, and we're starting to see some players have some breakout games. Just this week, we saw De'Aaron Fox scored 60. Giannis had 59. Wemby had a 50-point game. Do you think now we're going to start to see players, they got their sea legs, they kind of got the flow down, now we're going to start seeing some guys break out?
I think so. And what we're seeing is different type of players get those kind of games too. And I think because the possessions are up, because everybody's playing at that pace and that space and that up and down tempo, you're going to get a lot more possessions for guys to get there. Free throws are up too. It's amazing how the pace is faster, but there are also a lot more free throws being taken too. So I think so, man. And they're going to come from guards, they're going to come from wings, and point guards and playmakers from that standpoint. Most impressive one though. What's been the most impressive one so far?
Probably De'Aaron Fox. I mean, you feel Wemby's going to have one of those nights. He kind of had some up and down games. Giannis, you know what he can do. I think De'Aaron Fox that was like a little bit of a stamp moment. I'm here too. Don't forget about me.
So prediction: who's the next one to get 50?
Let's go, Jaren.
I like that.
I would say he gets to the free throw line. He can score from three. He gets in the paint a lot.
But only problem though, Taylor's playing 12 different guys, 14 to 30 minutes.
Jaren's averaging 30 the last 4 games.
And not even 30 minutes.
Not that far. Yeah,
he's averaging 30 and barely 30 minutes.
Maybe we get a close game. He's got to play a little more or something like that. So I don't know. That was a good one. We also saw this week some of the other teams that were expected to have good starts struggle from the start of the season. Which one of these do you think turns it around first? The Sixers are 2-10, the Bucks are 4-8, or the Pelicans that are 4-9?
I want to say the Pelicans, only because their struggles are injury related. They have a whole lot of guys out, but depending on how long those guys are out, they might not have a chance to make up that ground in the West. I picked the Pelicans, and as I talked about it, I want to say the Bucks, but I'm gonna leave that up to you. Who you got out of that group?
I'd probably go the Sixers just because Embiid's back. Paul George is sort of back.
Now and then.
If Maxey gets back, then you got your big three, and you're there. I don't know. The Bucks just feel like they've had their lineup. They're just not very good.
That's true. Good point.
And the Pelicans are injury. Who knows when, if they even get everybody back or whatever. I know DeJounte Murray's wrist injury was a longer-term thing. And, who knows with Zion.
Zion's hamstring is week to week, but it could be a month. And then you got to ramp him back up from a conditioning standpoint. That's true, man. And the West is unforgiving, as we've already seen through the first dozen games.
Last thing, this has nothing to do with the NBA, but Saturday night, the Grizzlies played in Golden State.
Golden State, yep. Same night.
At the end of the game, I flipped over and I watched the end of the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. You and I are both of the age where we used to watch Mike Tyson knock people out.
Yes.
Did you watch any of that fight, or what was your take from it?
I was in the middle of a post game. I was in the Grizzlies locker room when the fight ended. It didn't surprise me that it went that route. Tyson did come out strong.
There's
early.
all the highlights.
Yeah, that was it.
It's 4 seconds.
It was a jab, and I wouldn't want to get in the ring with Tyson at any age.
Me neither.
But the fact that he's still doing this at almost 60 years old, as he said, he was thankful to just his family, his friends, to see him get in the ring one more time. And it's not bad to make $20 million for 18 minutes of action like that.
I talked about it with some of the guys who host the MMA podcast for Grind City Media.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't know. like they told me a couple days beforehand, like, this doesn't feel, it's not a sanctioned fight. You're probably not going to get a great fight.
Barely a sparring session. But it generated $80 million though, man. And that's, $80 million. Jake Paul got $40 million. Mike Tyson got 20, and then the rest went to the other expenses, man. But again, this is where we are. It's a sad state for boxing.
In a weird way,
it is. It really is.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We're going to let you go flip over to FanDuel Sports Network to watch Grizzlies Live with Rob, Pete, Brevin, Chris. Also, you can listen on the radio with Eric, not Jessica. John Roser's filling in tonight. Elliot Perry's on tonight. Bennett Doyle will be up there. And then the game's going to start in about half an hour, 6 o'clock on FanDuel Sports Network. He's Marco Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. We'll be back with you on Tuesday night when the Grizzlies take on the Nuggets again. We'll be here at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. But you're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.